Belal Muhammad shocked the world after he beat Leon Edwards in a dominant fashion to become the welterweight champion. This shouldn't have been a surprise because Belal Muhammad has all the skills to become and stay a champion, especially looking at his fights prior. Today we're going to break that down. Before I continue with the video, I'd like to ask for you guys to like and subscribe and join my community. Thank you. The first thing that I think separates Belal Muhammad from the rest of his competition is his fight IQ. At the highest level of mixed martial arts, you'd expect every fighter to be competent in the decisions they make when fighting, but that just can't be more far from the truth. You look at certain fighters like Rampage, who claim that he doesn't study film, he just goes in there and figures out what he has to do based on what the opponent's throwing. And then you have other fighters like John Jones and Alexander Volkanovski, who always seem to be so cerebral about the way they fight. Belal Muhammad is a great example of that. Study his fights like him versus Wonderboy, where he had a really high guard, which was a lot different from his stance in other fights because he was prepared for Stephen Wonderboy's kicks. Wonderboy may be old, but he's one of the best kickers the UFC's ever seen, arguably top 5. And Belal Muhammad was very disciplined with the way he fought him. He didn't stand for too long. Whenever he got into the pocket, he would make sure he takes him down. And you look at his other fights like him versus Sean Brady, he didn't attempt one takedown. And you'd expect him to do that coming from a wrestling background, but he didn't because Sean Brady has a very, very good jiu-jitsu background. This is the same Sean Brady that beat Craig Jones in a jiu-jitsu match. For those of you who don't know, Craig Jones is one of the most decorated jiu-jitsu practitioners in the sport. This is the same Craig Jones that went toe-to-toe with Gordon Ryan. Had a close fight but lost. Now, for Sean Brady to do that to him, while I understand that Sean Brady's victory might have been an exploitation of the rules, he still survived against Craig Jones. It's kind of like Ilia Topuria being a good boxer in the UFC, fighting Prime Floyd and surviving all 12 rounds and in fact winning. Not in a dominant fashion, but still winning. That's still impressive, and Sean Brady did that. Belal Muhammad knew that going into the fight, so he didn't have any intentions of taking him down. Another reason why Belal didn't take down Sean Brady might have been because Belal has a very low finishing rate. He has 15 wins in the UFC. Out of those 15, only 3 are finishes. Out of those 3 finishes, only 1 was a submission against Takashi Nato, whom you guys probably don't even know. Belal knew that, so going into that fight, the risk to reward ratio was just not in his favor, hence him staying on the feet. And he was looking pretty good. In the first round, I would say that might have been a draw. But what I took from it was Belal was pressuring Sean. And Sean looked like he was going to break eventually. Like, it's good to be able to fight on the back foot, but there are times when the pressure is just too overwhelming and it makes you make mistakes. And we saw in the second round, Belal Muhammad had his way with Sean. Belal had that same approach with Gilbert Burns because Gilbert Burns is probably the most decorated active UFC fighter when it comes to BJJ. He's won numerous competitions, hence Belal having no interest in taking him down, with 0 takedown attempts, whilst Gilbert Burns attempted to take him down 4 times and failed in all 4. Lastly, his most impressive performance to date was beating Leon Edwards. Going into the fight, we had every reason to believe Leon was going to win because they had already fought before. And while that fight was ruled a no contest, we all knew what was inevitably going to happen. On top of that, Leon's 3 previous training camps were specifically for wrestlers, that in Usman and Colby Covington. And at the time, a lot of people thought Colby and Kamaru were levels above Belal, but with Belal's performance over Leon, it's pretty hard to make that argument. Belal understood Leon's strengths and weaknesses. Going into the fight, he knew Leon works best between mid and long range. Hence him making it a dogfight, chain wrestling him, trying to stay in the pocket, pressuring him. That's a fight that Leon just can't fight that well. And Belal Muhammad knew that, hence him being crowned the welterweight champion of the world. Now he is old, and I don't know if he's going to be able to take on guys like Shavkat, Jack Della Maddalena, and Buckley. But what I do know is that his legacy will be remembered even if it's short.